Hello students, welcome to Edviz Learning. Let us continue with our chapter Quadratic Equations. So as you know, we have already had one session on this chapter. In that session, I introduced you to the chapter, okay, and I told you what quadratic equations are. We discussed about polynomials, we discussed about quadratic equations, okay, and then after that, I told you what the standard form of a quadratic equation is, okay, and we also discussed whether any particular given value, if it is a solution for a given quadratic equation, how do we check that? Okay, so all you have to do is substitute the value in the quadratic equation and check whether the equation is satisfied or not. Now, next part of this chapter is something called as nature of the roots of the quadratic equation. Before that, you must understand the word roots of a quadratic equation. Now, I know I already told you about this word in the previous session. Roots of a quadratic equation are nothing but the solutions, possible solutions of a quadratic equation. So, as I told you, for any given quadratic equation, there are always two possible roots. At most, two roots are possible for a quadratic equation. And don't get confused, roots is just another word for solution, correct? So, two values will always satisfy a quadratic equation, at most two values, correct? So, let us discuss what is the nature of the roots. How do we define the nature of the roots? For example, I have a quadratic equation x square plus 3x plus 2 equal to 0. Okay. Now, clearly, this is a quadratic equation. The highest degree is 2. The first thing here is compare it to its standard form. In the previous lecture, I told you that the standard form of any quadratic equation is ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, where a is not equal to 0, correct? After you compare it to its standard form, we can see that in this particular scenario, a is equal to 1 because the coefficient of x square in our case is 1, correct? B is equal to 3, c is equal to 2, correct? So, a, b, c, I know from the equation 1, 3 and 2. Now, remember in the previous lecture, I told you what is discriminant of a quadratic equation. Okay, what is discriminant of a quadratic equation? And at that time, I told you the formula of discriminant, that is b square minus 4ac. Okay, and in short, I told you that this particular term, discriminant, it helps us to tell the nature of the roots of the quadratic equation. ठीक है, मतलब इसके हेल्प से आई एम एबल टू डिटरमाइन कि इस पर्टिकुलर क्वाड्रेटिक इक्वेशन का जो सॉल्यूशन होगा टू वैल्यूज वो कैसे होंगे इन द सेंस देयर आर थ्री कैटेगरीज हियर. ठीक है, द थ्री कैटेगरीज आर दीज. If for any given quadratic equation the value of b square minus 4ac, the value of b square minus 4ac is equal to 0. Okay, for any given quadratic equation, if the value of b square minus 4ac is equal to 0, then in this case, both the roots, both the solutions of that quadratic equation are, the roots are इक्वल. ठीक है, दोनों सॉल्यूशंस सेम ही आएंगे, दोनों सॉल्यूशंस सेम ही आएंगे इफ द वैल्यू ऑफ b square minus 4ac equal to 0. That's why I said any particular quadratic equation has at most two solution. But अगर सिर्फ एक ही solution repeat हो रहा है दोनों solution find out करते वक्त, तो the roots are equal. तो if the value of b square minus 4ac for any quadratic equation is equal to 0, the roots are equal. And of course they are real numbers, equal and real. ठीक है, so दोनों values, दोनों solutions इस particular quadratic equation में equal होंगे and they will be real numbers. Second scenario, this is the first scenario. Second scenario, the value of b square minus 4ac is greater than 0. Okay, अगर 0 से बड़ा कोई value आ रहा है मेरे लिए discriminant का value, if it is greater than 0, in that case, the roots are, both the solution, both the values, the roots are not equal. Okay. इन दैट केस दोनों अलग अलग वैल्यूज आएंगी. अगर b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, both the solutions are not equal, but in this case also they are real numbers, but real. ठीक है. So if the value of b square minus 4ac is 0, roots are equal and real. If it is greater than 0, then they are not equal, but they are real numbers. But what is the third scenario? So third scenario, b square minus 4ac. If you get this value less than 0, okay, if you get this value less than 0, so in that case, forget about equal or unequal, the roots are not real only. The roots are not real. Okay, यहाँ पे real numbers होंगे ही नहीं roots. Now I know from your childhood till your 10th standard, all the numbers that you have studied, they have all been always real numbers. तुम लोगों ने सिर्फ real numbers ही study किया है अभी तक, first standard से लेके 10th standard तक. But trust me, there are some other types of numbers also, जिनको हम लोग complex numbers या imaginary numbers बोलते हैं. ठीक है. So in this particular case, यहाँ पे जो roots होते हैं वो real नहीं होते. So that's why जब भी ये वाला value आता है, तुम लोगों को समझ जाना है कि you have made some mistake in solving your equation, at least in your 10th standard. ठीक है. तो अगर b square minus 4ac किसी भी इक्वेशन के लिए less than 0 आ रहा है while solving the quadratic equation, not in the next exercise, okay? So while solving, if you are getting this value less than 0, negative में आंसर आ रहा है, then the roots are not real. Correct? So now we saw three different categories based on the discriminant. Now you must have understood why this is called discriminant. Okay? ये जो फॉर्मूला है b square minus 4ac, इसको डिस्क्रिमिनेंट क्यों बोलते हैं? बिकॉज इट हेल्प्स अस टू डिस्क्रिमिनेट बिटवीन द रूट्स ऑफ द क्वाड्रेटिक इक्वेशन. ठीक है, दोनों रूट्स के बीच में डिस्क्रिमिनेट करने को हेल्प करता है. दैट्स व्हाई हियर द रूट्स आर इक्वल, देयर इज नो डिस्क्रिमिनेशन. हियर द रूट्स आर नॉट इक्वल, सो देयर इज अ डिस्क्रिमिनेशन, बट दे आर रियल. ओके, हियर दे आर रियल, but in the third scenario, b square minus 4ac less than 0, the roots are imaginary, not real. Correct? So based on these three scenarios, let us now solve the next exercise, that is exercise 5b. Okay, exercise 5b. Remember, अभी तक हम लोगों ने quadratic equation को solve कैसे करना है वो study किया ही नहीं है. Correct? उस पे हम लोग अभी next exercise में आएंगे, but for now we are just discussing nature of the roots. जो solution होता है वो कैसा होता है वो discuss कर रहे हैं हम लोग. So exercise 5b. Correct? The very first question here is, without solving, comment upon the nature of the roots of each of the following equation. So there are some equations given to you. We don't have to solve those equations, but we have to find out कि उनके roots का nature कैसा होगा. Okay? Based on the value of the discriminant. So look at the very first equation here. Question number 1 का first equation जो यहाँ पर given है, that is 7x square minus 9x plus 2 equal to 0. Okay, so to find out what type of roots it has, we have to find out the value of the discriminant. For that we need a, b and c. a, b and c कैसे मिलेगा? By comparing it with the standard form. Comparing with ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. Okay, after comparison you will observe that a is equal to 7, b is equal to minus 9, don't forget the sign, c is equal to 2. Okay, therefore, okay, to tell the nature of the roots we have to find b square minus 4ac. This will be equal to, b square is minus 9 square minus 4 into 7 into c is 2. Correct? इसको जब सॉल्व करेंगे we will get 81 minus 4 7s are 28, 28 into 2 is 56. Correct? So 81 minus 56, if we subtract this we will get 25. The value of b square minus 4ac is 25. That means it is greater than 0. So since b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, the roots are real and not equal. ओके, इक्वल कब होता है? जब वैल्यू 0 आता है तब. बट इफ इट इज ग्रेटर देन 0, द रूट्स आर रियल बट दे आर नॉट इक्वल. ठीक है, सो दिस इज द नेचर ऑफ द रूट्स ऑफ द फर्स्ट इक्वेशन. सिमिलरली सेकेंड वन के लिए भी ठीक इसी तरह से सॉल्व करना है. द सेकेंड इक्वेशन हियर इज 6x square minus 13x plus 4 equal to 0. So compare with the standard form, that is ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. You will find out a is 6, b is minus 13 and c is 4. Okay, then find out the discriminant b square minus 4ac, which is equal to minus 13 square minus 4 into 6 into c is 4. Correct? So this is equal to 13 square, नेगेटिव का स्क्वायर पॉजिटिव होगा, सो 169 माइनस 4 6 are 24, 24 into 4 is 96. Correct? So subtract this, you will get 3 and 16 minus 9 is 7, 73. Once again the value is greater than 0. That means the nature of the roots here is the same as the previous question. Since b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, the roots are real and not equal. Okay, so it's very easy to tell the nature of the roots. All you have to do is find this b square minus 4ac. How to find the roots, we will come to that part after this exercise later on. Okay, so please note this down while I wait for you. I'll wait for 1 minute, then we will continue to the next question. Okay students, moving on to the third sub question here. 25x square minus 10x plus 1 equal to 0. You have to do the same thing once again. The third sub question, 25x square minus 10x plus 1 equal to 0. So find out b square minus 4ac. Before that, find out a, b and c by comparing with the standard form, that is ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. So a here is 25, b is minus 10, c is 1. Find out b square minus 4ac, that is minus 10 square minus 4 into 25 into c is 1. So here you can see minus 10 square will be positive 100 and minus 4 into 25 is also 100. So the value here is 0. Okay, so if the value of b square minus 4ac is 0, always remember the roots are real but they are also equal. Correct? So since b square minus 4ac is equal to 0, the roots are real and equal. Okay, so this was the third sub question here. Let us do one more, fourth sub question. So fourth sub question is this: x square plus 2 root 3x minus 9 equal to 0. So we have to do it in the same way. First compare with the standard form. Okay, then find out a, b and c. So a is obviously 1, the coefficient of x square. b is 2 root 3, positive hai, isliye as it is. But c is negative 9. So find out the discriminant b square minus 4ac, that is equal to 2 root 3 square minus 4 into 1 into minus 9. Correct? So this will be equal to b square, matlab 2 square is 4, root 3 square is just 3. And minus into minus will become plus, 4 nines are 36. Once again we are getting a positive value. So even this will be b square minus 4ac, it is greater than 0. So even this will have real but not equal roots. Okay. Since b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, the roots are real but not equal. Correct? So this was the fourth question that we have. I hope you understood this. Please make a note of this. I'll wait for 1 minute. Then we'll move on to the next question. Okay, let's continue. So the next sub question here is x square minus ax minus b square equal to 0. Let us check. The fourth sub question is x square minus ax minus b square equal to 0. Here you can see there are no constants, but we can find out a, b, c by comparing with the standard form. So comparing with, so don't get confused here. यहाँ पर a and b already use कर लिया है इन्होंने. So let us compare it with capital ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. I have just used other variables because they have already used a and b. So therefore capital A is equal to 1 clearly. Capital B is equal to minus a. Okay, x का coefficient. Capital C equal to minus b square. Correct? So these are the values of capital A, capital B and capital C. Now the discriminant here will be capital B square minus 4 into capital A and capital C. Because I have used capital letters, this is the formula. Substitute the values. Minus b square matlab b square will be minus a square minus 4 into 1 into minus b square. Okay, so this will be equal to minus a ka square will be positive a square clearly, minus, and this minus will become plus 4b square. Now both the values are positive, therefore their addition will also be positive. So clearly this is equal to or greater than 0. Okay? This is greater than 0. That means the equation that we have will have real but not equal roots. Okay? Since b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, the roots are real and not equal. Okay. Now the last one here, the last one is 2x square, sixth one 2x square plus 8x plus 9 equal to 0. Do the same thing, comparing with ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. So a here is 2, b is 8 and c is 9. Find out b square minus 4ac, that is 8 square minus 4 into 2 into 9. Correct? So this will be 64 minus 4 9s are 36. 36 into 2 will be 72. Now here you can see the value is negative. So this will be equal to minus 8 clearly. So therefore yahan par for the first time we are getting b square minus 4ac less than 0. Therefore the roots will be imaginary or not real. Okay, the roots are imaginary. If the value of b square minus 4ac is negative, always remember you cannot find the roots. Not at least in your 10th standard. So we are done with this much. Please make a note of this. I'll wait for you for a minute. Then we'll move on to the next question. Okay, let us continue, students. Next is question number 2. For that, let's go to the next page. I'll just read it for you. Find the value of p if the following quadratic equations have equal roots. So now they are giving us some equations. Question number 2 mein, the first equation here is 4x square minus p minus 2 into x plus 1 equal to 0. Correct? So what they are telling us is कि यहाँ पर the roots are real and equal. Okay, they have already told us the nature of the roots. We don't need to find that out. So b square minus 4ac when the roots are real and equal is always equal to 0. We know that, correct? So using that information we have to find p. So here let us first find out a, b and c. Comparing with ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, a is equal to 4, b is equal to minus p minus 2, x ka coefficient. Okay, c is equal to just 1. Okay, but here in this equation they have already told us that the roots are real and equal. So we know that b square minus 4ac is going to be equal to 0. We can directly equate it with 0, correct? So since the roots are real and equal, b square minus 4ac discriminant is equal to 0. Correct? Substitute the values of b, a and c. You will automatically get an equation in terms of p. So b square means minus p minus 2 square minus 4 into a, that is once again 4 and c is 1. This is equal to 0. Correct? Therefore, here minus sign will get squared and it will become positive. This is basically minus 1 multiplied by p minus 2. So minus 1 square is positive 1. So we can ignore this minus sign. All you have to do is p minus 2 the whole square. So use a minus b the whole square formula, that is p square minus 2 times p into 2. So 2 into 2 into p plus 2 square, that is 4. Okay, minus this is 16 equal to 0. So we are getting p square minus 4p, correct, plus 4 minus 16 is minus 12 equal to 0. As you can see, to find out p, we are getting one more quadratic equation. So for the first time, we have to solve this equation. Now, iska method, we haven't discussed it so far in the chapter. We were going to discuss it after this exercise, but to solve this question, I'll have to discuss it right now. Correct? So this is a quadratic equation just like this. where we have to find p. So very first step upon solving a quadratic equation is to multiply the coefficient of p square with the constant term. Okay, it is just like trinomial factorization which you have already done in your previous standards. 3 terms का factorization कैसे करते हैं हम लोग? First p square का coefficient, multiply it with the constant. So p square का coefficient is 1, so it doesn't really matter. 1 into minus 12, you will get minus 12. Now the next step for the factorization of this, you have to find out 2 factors of minus 12 such that the difference between them will be minus 4. Why I said the word difference and not addition? Because if it is a negative number, इसके factors में obviously one factor will be positive, one will be negative. Okay? अगर एक positive है, एक negative है, only then उनका multiplication negative होगा. Correct? So that's why first decide the sign of your factors. Okay? It will help you to find the correct factors. Now, if I have one positive factor and one negative factor, obviously, when we add these two, they won't get added actually, they will get subtracted. If you have one positive number, one negative number, वो हमेशा subtract होंगे, correct? So, in these two factors, there will be subtraction. But, if you remember the steps to factorize this, what should be the subtraction of these two factors? You should get minus 4. So, we have to find such factors of minus 12 जिनका difference minus 4 होगा. So, we know that 6 2s are 12 होता है और इनका difference भी 4 होता है, correct? But 6 minus 2 positive 4 होता है. We need negative 4, correct? This term is minus 4p, so we need negative 4. Negative 4 कब आएगा? When I take the bigger number as the negative factor. So, minus 6 and plus 2 is the correct pair of factors. एक बार मैंने ये factors find out कर दिए, you can use those factors to split the middle term. Okay? So, minus 2 plus 6, यहाँ पे मैं use करूंगा to split the middle term. It will become plus 2p minus 6p minus 12 equal to 0. Okay? अभी तक quadratic equation solve कैसे करना है, ये वाला कोई part आया नहीं है, correct? It is not new to you. This is very old. You have been doing this since your 8th standard. So I hope you know how to factorize trinomials. Correct? We use the multiplication of 1 into minus 12. इसका factors find करना है such that the difference will be minus 4. So minus 6p plus 2p. Use them to split the middle term. Now in the next step, I hope you remember the grouping method of factorization. हम लोग दो का group बना लेंगे. And in those two groups, take out the common terms. So here we can see p is common. We will get p plus 2 in the bracket. In the second step, we can see minus 6 is common. Okay, and if I take a negative number common, whatever is left behind, uska sign change ho jayega. So minus 12 becomes plus 2 because 6 2s are 12. I have taken 6 common. Correct? This is equal to 0. Correct? This is just the next step of the factorization. And in the final step of the factorization, what we do? The common bracket, we can take it outside once again. So p plus 2, दोनों जगह पर common है, we can take it outside. Therefore, the factorization is p plus 2 and p minus 6 equal to 0. So quadratic equation को solve करने का ये factorization method है. What you have to do is 0 का जो left hand side है, you just need to factorize it, which you already know. You have been doing it since your 8th standard. After this, what is new is only this. Now just pay attention. Here we have two factors. The product of these two factors is equal to 0. But you know that if I multiply two numbers and their product is 0, it is compulsory that either this number has to be 0 or this number has to be 0. Okay? Because 0 अगर नहीं होगा, A भी नहीं, B भी नहीं, then how can the product be 0? It is not possible. तो या तो A 0 होना चाहिए या तो B 0 होना चाहिए. Only then is the multiplication equal to 0. Correct? Same logic we use in quadratic equations. So if the product of these two numbers is equal to 0, that means p plus 2 has to be 0 or p minus 6 will be equal to 0. This particular rule is called the zero product rule. Okay, zero product rule क्या हुआ? That if two numbers are multiplied and their product is 0, that means one of the two numbers has to be 0. या फिर दोनों भी 0 हो सकता है. That's why I have written this equal to 0 or this equal to 0. And this is the reason, friends, that we get two solutions for any quadratic equation. ठीक है? The first solution here is p equal to minus 2, correct? Plus 2 उस साइड चला गया, और p equal to 6. Both these solutions will satisfy this quadratic equation or this quadratic equation. ठीक है? We are finding out p. So this quadratic equation. And if you check the answer at the back of your textbook, p will have two values. They are minus 2 and 6. Correct? Because we got a quadratic equation. तो quadratic equations भी ऐसे ही solve करते हैं हम लोग. So you got to learn it early. We didn't have to wait for the end of the exercise. I hope you understood this. Now I'll wait for 1 minute for you to note this down. Then we'll move on to the next question. Alright students, let's continue. In the similar manner, we have to solve the second sub question also. The second sub question equation is x square plus p minus 3. Second sub question x square plus p minus 3 into x plus p equal to 0. Now even though this is a quadratic equation, इसको हम लोगों को solve नहीं करना है. We have to solve for the value of p. Okay, so let us do that. Comparing with ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. Okay, therefore a will be equal to 1, b will be equal to p minus 3, c will be equal to just p. Okay, so in this case also it is given in the question the roots are real and equal. That means since the roots are real and equal, okay, b square minus 4ac will be equal to 0. Correct? Since the roots are real and equal, b square minus 4ac will be equal to 0. Therefore, p minus 3 square minus 4 into 1 into c is p is equal to 0. Just substitute a, b and c. So open this bracket, a minus b the whole square formula once again. So p square minus 6p plus 3 square is 9. Then we have minus 4p. Okay. So once again you can see we are getting a quadratic equation, minus 6p minus 4p. It will become minus 10p. Okay. As you can see, once again we have a quadratic equation. P का value अगर मुझे find करना है, तो I'll have to solve this quadratic equation. You can do it in the similar way we did the previous question. First step, always remember, multiply the coefficient of p square to the last term. Here it is just 1, so it doesn't really matter. Once again, 1 into 9, 9. Correct? 9 का दो factors चाहिए, such a way that the sum of the factors. Now why sum here? पिछले में difference बोला था मैंने, यहाँ पे sum क्यों है? Because it is positive 9. Positive value कब आएगा? या तो दोनों factors positive होना चाहिए, तो उनका multiplication positive होगा, क्योंकि अगर एक नेगेटिव एक पॉजिटिव होगा तो नेगेटिव आंसर आएगा प्रोडक्ट, राइट? सो या तो दोनों पॉजिटिव होना चाहिए तो पॉजिटिव 9 आएगा, या फिर दोनों फैक्टर्स नेगेटिव होना चाहिए. सो माइनस इंटू माइनस इज ऑल्सो पॉजिटिव 9. करेक्ट. नाउ यू नीड द फैक्टर्स इन सच अ वे दैट द सम ऑफ द फैक्टर्स शुड बी -10. करेक्ट. सो नेगेटिव 10 आना चाहिए फैक्टर्स. सो ये वाला कंडीशन तो पॉसिबल नहीं है बिकॉज इस केस में द सम विल बी पॉजिटिव. वी नीड -10. Okay, so the factors of 9 will be -9 multiplied by -1. The answer, the sum is also -10. Correct. So those two factors we will use to split the middle term. Let's do that. So p square -10p can be written as -9p minus 1p or just p plus 9 equal to 0. Correct. This is just rough work. I'll erase it. Therefore, you can see once again grouping method से यहां पर p common है, p minus 9, and minus, if there is nothing common I can take just 1 outside, and a negative number has been taken outside, so the sign will be changed, p minus 9 will be left behind. Correct. So this bracket is once again common, take it outside. Now this is just the factorization part. Okay. Next, solve the quadratic equation. Use the zero product rule. The product of two numbers is 0. That means either p minus 9 is 0 or p minus 1 is equal to 0. Correct? So p equals to 9 or p equals to 1. Okay? Two solutions. Always two solutions for a quadratic equation. Remember that. Okay? So I'll give you another 30 seconds to note this down. Then we'll go to the next question. Okay, let us continue, students. Next is question number 3. The equation 3x square minus 12x plus n minus 5 equal to 0 has equal roots. So there is one more equation that we have. Question number 3. 3x square minus 12x plus n minus 5 equal to 0. Okay. And this equation also has equal roots. If it has equal roots, the value of b square minus 4ac is equal to 0. Okay. So we have to find the value of n. It is exactly like the previous questions. Nothing different here. First step, find out a, b and c. So comparing with ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. Okay, the value of a is 3, the value of b is minus 12, the value of c is n minus 5. Okay, I've just compared and noted down the values. N minus 5 is entirely the constant. So n, if I have to find out, for that we know that since the roots are real and equal, or just real, since the roots are equal, b square minus 4ac is equal to 0. So that means minus 12 square minus 4 into 3 into c is n minus 5. This is going to be equal to 0. Correct? Minus 12 square will be positive 12 square 144. Okay? Minus 4 3s are 12. So 12 into n minus 5 equal to 0. Now this is not a quadratic equation. Simply linear equation है जहाँ पे n का value find करना है. So thank God we don't have to do the steps all over again like we did in the previous question. Solve it normally. Minus 12n plus 60 equal to 0. We will get 204 equal to On the other side, minus 12n will become positive 12n. So the value of n here is, therefore n will be equal to 204 divided by 12. We know 12 ones are 12 and 84, that is 12 sevens are 84. So the value of n is 17. Correct? This is question number 3. So a simple question, friends. Please note this down. I'll give you 30 seconds. Then we'll go to the next question. Okay, let us continue. Next is question number 4. Find the value of m if the following equation has equal roots. So once again the same type of question. Question number 4 is a question which you can solve on your own. It is just like the previous 3 questions that we have solved. So I want you to solve this question as your homework. I'll just note the equation here and you can note down the question. We have the equation m minus 2 into x square minus 5 plus m into x plus 16 equal to 0. Okay, has real roots. This equation has real roots and equal roots, real and equal roots. So you have to find the value of m. This is the question. Question number 4. Okay, same question hai. You have to find b square minus 4ac equal to 0. You have to substitute the values and find the value of m. So I'll leave this question up to you. Let us go to the final question in this exercise, that is question number 5. Find the value of k for which the equation 3x square minus 6x plus k equal to 0 has distinct and real roots. So this is a different question. Question number 5. Equation is 3x square minus 6x plus k equal to 0. The roots are distinct and real. Distinct means they are not equal, they are different. Okay? So when the roots are different, we know that b square minus 4ac is not equal to 0, but it is greater than 0. If the roots are not equal but real, b square minus 4ac is greater than 0. So let us find out a, b and c first before we go to k. Comparing with ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. So a here is 3, b is minus 6, c is equal to k. Correct? So since the roots are distinct, or you can say not equal, and real, the condition is nature of the root is b square minus 4ac greater than 0. Okay? If the nature of the roots is this, that they are not equal and real, we know that b square minus 4ac has to be greater than 0. So if we substitute the values of a, b and c here, minus 6 square minus 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by k is greater than 0. So from this you can say that we are not going to get the exact value of k. Okay, you will have to use the inequality. This is an inequation. Okay, you will get the range of values of k. Okay, so this is 36 minus 12k greater than 0. Therefore 36 is greater than 12k. Correct? I hope you know the rules of inequalities. We can do the same kind of shifting here also, but if we multiply or divide both sides by a negative number, the inequality changes. But we are just adding 12k on both sides. So 12k got cancelled here. On the other side, 0 plus 12k became 12k. The value of k will be 36 divided by 12, less than 36 divided by 12. So therefore, this is 3. Okay. So the value of k is less than 3. This is what the inequality is. So this is the solution of this inequality, that k will be less than 3. So यहाँ पर कोई दूसरा हम लोगों को रिप्लेसमेंट सेट नहीं दिया हुआ है, okay, from which we choose the values that we need. That's why we will consider this as our final solution. K can be anything less than 3. Okay, so this is done. With this, we are done with exercise 5B and also this session. So I'll just take your leave. Before that, please make sure you practice enough questions at home. This is a difficult chapter if you don't practice, but if you practice, you will be able to solve each and every question without any trouble. Okay? Thank you everyone. Bye.